Hi YouTube, it's me, I'm back! I'm sorry I took such a break. The holidays were insane, but now I'm going to try and get content out at least once a week. I'm really going to try to get this blog going every Tuesday or so keep an eye out on it. I might not be able to through some of my launch season, but after that I should be good. The inspiration for this blog is kind of coming from a conversation I had with someone when I was like 5 or 6 years old. So I was trying to do a bunch of different things with my life. I know I say this when I was 5 or 6, but I used to do a lot of stuff. I was taking sewing lessons, I was taking drawing lessons, I was homeschooled, so I had a lot of free time, so I was doing a lot of reading, a lot of monologuing, and someone told me that you can't do everything. You have to pick something. And so ever since then, it's really stuck with me. I've been trying to prove that person wrong. I don't even remember who they were, but I've been trying to prove that whole sentiment wrong. You can do everything you want to. Nothing is holding you back. The only thing that's really going to hold you back in life is yourself. You can do anything you want to do. You can be athletic, and you can be artistic, and you can be musical and analytical all at the same time. You don't have to choose like career over art. You don't have to decide what you want to do right away, and you don't have to let anybody dictate what your life is going to be. You can choose it. So I want to talk a little bit about where I started and how I kind of got to where I am now, and my more unconventional path to success that I'm finding. When I was about 14 or 15, I got hit really, really bad with depression. I can't really remember feeling it before that. I was really depressed, and I didn't want to come to school. I didn't want to participate in anything. The only thing that really got me going and kept me going to school was things like the school play and the chorus concert. I used to pretend that I was sick a lot, so I'd be out of school about every other day. My mom was really great when I said I didn't feel well. She didn't make me go to school, but it was starting to affect my attendance and some of my tests. My grades actually weren't falling as far as my understanding, but I was missing a lot of homework because I would do it and then I wouldn't turn it in because it was late, and I didn't want to walk up to the desk and be the only one walking up to the desk to hand it to my teacher late. So I just never turned it in. We actually did a rummage through my locker at one point, and we found tons of homework, like months worth of homework that was just completed and sitting at the bottom of my locker, not turned in. And my teachers were looking at me like, why wasn't this handed in? It's here, it's done. And it was hard to explain that I didn't feel confident enough to hand something in late because I didn't want to get yelled at. So for me, it was better to avoid the situation entirely. So I would pretend I was sick a lot. I would miss a lot of school, but you had to have a certain number of attendance days to be part of the school play. As soon as they would cast the school play, I was at school every single day until it wrapped. And that really kept me going through. So when I hit high school, I was really focused on being an actress. I thought, I don't need college, I don't need any more education, I don't even need to graduate, I'm just going to be an actress. So I graduated top 20 in my class, and then I just didn't do anything after that. I didn't take the SATs, I didn't go to college, I started working in retail and acting on the side. I made 2 films in New Hampshire where I grew up, and I worked with a film company, and I worked and made plays with them, and I did a lot of great things with them. And then I met my husband, and I kind of put everything on hold for him and moved here to North Carolina. And I kind of thought that was it. I would work retail, I'd be married, and that was gonna be my lot in life. Maybe I'd go to school, and I thought that was gonna be enough for me. You know, a lot of people do that, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, you have kids, you work, you come home, you take care of your husband, you take care of your house, you've got pets. Like, that's a normal life. It's perfectly wonderful. If your husband can support you and you can support him with the money you're making in retail, I mean, that's fine. But it wasn't enough. About 2 months into living here, I was bored as hell. I mean, I was bored. So I decided to take skating lessons again. I took them when I was younger, and I quit when I moved here, and I really missed it. I still had my skates, I still had a lot of the muscle memory, So I reached out to a couple of coaches. I ended up with one that I liked, and I started taking lessons. I've gotten kind of right back to where I was when I quit. I took a 2-year hiatus, and I finally got back to it. It's taken me another year, but I did it, and now I'm testing. I'm competing again. I recently won first place in the Powerade State Games, and I tested into my adult bronze test group. I need to finish those tests, and I'll be doing silver or pre-silver. And that was an outlet. You know, it was something that I could do that made me feel active and kind of special again, you know, and it was great. And then I was bored again. And my husband bought me a beautiful camera, which I'm actually using to record this right now, and I kind of took off from there. I've kind of put some of my images over the screen here. My photography has grown so much since just going out and doing it. I love taking pictures of myself. As you can see, I love self-portraits. I love seeing myself in pictures. I love being on camera. That's why I do YouTube. And I started with taking those portraits. There are a few photographers who really inspired me. One of them is my sister-in-law. She takes beautiful portraits, and a few others I have on Flickr and I found on Instagram. They take these otherworldly shots, and I'm nowhere near where they are yet, but I will be. And I just started doing it and relearning Photoshop and different techniques and different ways of lighting. And so that kind of took off, and that was another outlet. You know, it was another thing that I could do, that I could kind of contribute to this artistic side of me that I wasn't expressing. And then my job started to suck. And it wasn't really the people there, it wasn't really the atmosphere, because the job I was working was great. You know, my bosses were wonderful, I had a lot of opportunities, but I was starting to stagnate. I was starting to get about as high as I was going to for the next couple of years. And that wasn't all right with me. I like to keep moving and changing and growing. And sitting at an assistant manager level for years did not appeal to me. My husband had lucked into a position with Ubisoft, and I decided to apply. You know, part-time, seasonal, thinking, you know, maybe it's just something I could do aside from retail. Not really thinking it would be a career choice, because I didn't really have any experience in video games at all. I mean, I played them casually, but it wasn't like a passion of mine, and I didn't really know anything about technical support. I was on the support team. I didn't know anything about technical support. I basically knew how to restart my computer. And so I was worried that I wasn't going to get it, or that they wouldn't accept me, or I wouldn't know what to do. And I got there, and I really just flourished. It was the best possible experience I could have had at my first office job. So I was really flourishing at Ubisoft. And then another seasonal joined, and he and I were on the same level. So we started working together. We got pulled into spearheading a new team, and we did that, and we went nuts on that, and he and I have the same kind of work ethic, so we really just went off on it. We worked really hard, and we made it the best thing that we possibly could, and then we passed it along. He now runs that team. He's the head of it, and he has turned it into something that we really couldn't have imagined at the time. I'm really happy to say that I had a hand in it. And then I moved on to employee development. So when I was younger, I always thought I was going to be a teacher, and then I realized that that would be awful, and so I gave up on that dream for a while, but I still do really like to teach. I taught skating for years, I taught piano for years, and something inside of me just still loves that feeling when you show someone something, or you give someone something, and they take it and they turn it into something that you couldn't imagine that they could do. So I moved into the employee development position when it came available, and now I make training, and I make videos for training, and I teach people how to do stuff, and that's what I do now. And I would never have had that position without all of the steps that led me up to it. And I really love what I do now. And I never thought that I could do something like this without a college education. And I'm not bashing college education at all. I still plan on going to college and doing it, but not, you know, the traditional way. Like, I'm not going to go and live in a dorm and, you know, do the whole like college kid thing because I'm married, and that wouldn't make sense. But there's no reason why you have to do that. You know, you can put it off. You can wait until you know what you really want to do. When I was 17 years old, I was going to be an actress. I would have gone for theater arts and wasted 4 years in college learning from people who didn't make it in acting how to act, which doesn't make any sense. So instead, I went into the workforce and I did cool stuff and I got experience, and I got an awesome job with an awesome company. And now when I do go to college, it will be for business management and video game design. And it'll set me up to be in a really good spot in the field that I love, which is video games now. So I'm really excited for the next chapter. I don't know when it will be, but it's coming, and I hope you guys stay along for the ride and kind of watch as I flourish and join me, and, you know, give me your suggestions and your feedback and share your stories with me. And I really hope that I can inspire someone to just do what they love doing and find a way to do it no matter what anybody tells you you're supposed to do.